Thanks
Awesome.
for tuning in. You're listening to Let's Address This with Qasim Rashid. I am with Kelly Dietrich, who is with the NDTC. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And we were talking offline about what we want to discuss today. And we both kind of came to the conclusion that there's a lot of hopelessness out there. So we want to try to give you guys some hope, something positive to look towards on how we can fight the fascism we're seeing and fight the horrors that we're seeing out there in a meaningful and consequential way. So, but Kelly, before we get too far, I think just
Yes.
I would love to have you just introduce yourself to everybody so they know who you are and what you're doing to
Amazing.
save our democracy.
We're trying, man. We're trying.
Yeah,
Hey, everybody. I'm Kelly Dietrich. He, him, his. I am the founder and CEO of the National Democratic Training Committee. That is a very fancy official sounding name that is not in any way, shape, or form affiliated with the DNC. We are a separate entity with one mission, and it came out of my work on campaigns all over the country, which was it didn't seem to be anybody's job to help every Democrat everywhere. Lots of amazing organizations out there who provided good resources, but they were very, very specific. You had to be a pro-choice woman. You had to, fit some sort of criteria. Uh, and I realized that as I dug a little deeper, there's more than 518,000 elected officials, which is nuts,
crazy.
crazy. And like I'm a big believer in parties, but state parties are overworked and underfunded. So I took a look at what my wife was doing with online learning in her business. She's the smart, successful one of the family. And we created a completely free online academy to help anyone who wanted to get involved in democratic politics do it as easily as possible. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're in a rural red suburb or rural area, if you're in the heart of, I'm in Chicago. If you're here in the heart of Chicago, we'll help you. Everything is free. Everything is donor funded. We can show you how to make the decision if running for office is right for you, how to become a volunteer, how to become a local leader, whole 9 yards.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, I feel like we are kind of perpetually behind the eight ball. And I think part of it is because not that we're perfect, but we do a better job, I think, of not accepting the dark corporate corrupt money that the Republicans are just kind of so willing to take. And again, I say this with a caveat that I think we can do a lot better as a party.
Oh yeah.
But when you have values and principles, it progress is slower because
Yeah.
you have to check more boxes, and that's what you want, right? You want
Yeah.
to check boxes, you want sincerity, and we're kind of seeing that right now. We've got a president who is quite very likely a child sexual predator, and the Republican Party is like, fake news. We're not going to do
Right.
anything about it. I don't know if you just saw Jamie Raskin report, Congressman Jamie Raskin report, that he had the chance to see the unredacted full files and search for Trump and saw his name's there not 38,000 times, which itself is
Mind boggling.
insane,
Yeah.
more than a million times.
It's crazy.
It's it's out of this world. I like
It
what are you hearing when you're talking to these candidates? Is that something that they're
yeah.
realizing people care about? Kind of what's your finger on the pulse of this nationally?
So, look, yes, everybody's pissed. Everybody's angry. Everybody's frustrated. We're all scared for ourselves, for our family. We're both dads, right? My my why, we talk to candidates and people a lot about why are you doing this? What is your
Yeah.
story of self, right? Because we want people to communicate that way. My why is my daughter. She's an amazing seventh grader. She's incredible. It's her world. We're just living in it, right?
Yep.
I'm sure you feel the same way about your kids.
Yep.
Uh, everyone is concerned, scared, and frustrated. And what we need to be talking about is yes, the Epstein, yes, ICE, and we need to be tying it back to ways that make a difference in the voters who we need to win so that we have power.
Yeah.
Point blank, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Our values are shared by more people.
Yeah. That's right.
Our policies are more popular,
Yeah.
right? The other side is willing to go the distance further than we are to implement their policies and I mean whatever they believe in at the current moment,
Yeah.
whatever billionaire is giving them money to believe in right now.
Yeah.
So uh what we're hearing, what I'm talking and trying to tell people is that you can't You need to talk about the issues that are top of mind, that are in front of us. ICE is huge,
Yeah.
right? We're in this lull, and maintaining outrage is hard. But let's not forget, Donald Trump and his MAGA cronies came into office promising change on day one, promising affordability,
Yeah.
promising health care, promising that they were going to drain the swamp. We're more than a year in, prices are up, healthcare is more expensive than ever. There are goon squads abducting citizens on the street with
Yeah.
no accountability. Nobody wants this.
And job creation is the worst it's been since the Great Recession,
Amen.
and there's no sign of it relenting. I think the affordability aspect of it is something that I really want Democrats to better embrace and act upon. I cannot stand Donald Trump. What he did effectively was convince people that he was the affordability president. I mean, he lied. He convinced me he's a peace president. He lied about a lot of things.
Yep.
But if a lie can be so effective, imagine running on truth and how effective that can be. And I think like Zoran Mamdani is an excellent example of that.
Oh, absolutely.
You couldn't get that guy off his game on affordability. You could ask him about any question in the world and he would bring it back to affordability. And guess what? In his 6 weeks as mayor so far, he's already gotten funding for childcare. And I,
Yeah.
I saw just today he won a $5 million settlement
Oh,
for gig economy workers to get some money back
yeah.
and reinstated Uber drivers. I mean, he's kind of breaking the myth that
Yep.
progress takes time. It just takes willpower. If they wanted
Yes.
to, they would. And so how do we get that message across to the
Yeah.
Chuck Schumers and Hakeem Jeffries of the world who on one hand wanna talk about affordability, but then are funded by APAC and corporations and big pharma and big health and just entities that have no regard for working people, just raw power.
Yeah. Look, this starts with running Democrats everywhere, and what we're trying to tell people, even if you don't think you can win, that's fine. You should run in your area. We don't build long-term change immediately. We
Yeah.
will not defeat we can take back Congress this November. That's not the end of MAGA. We can win in 28. That's not the end of the threat of fascism, right? We need to
Yeah.
internalize that living in a democracy comes with responsibility, a lifetime responsibility, because we've seen what happens and what can possibly take place if we let our guard down. So, what we need, to get back to your question, is we need leaders, we need candidates, we need people who inspire hope and give us a vision, not just an anti-Trump message.
Yeah.
Think
That's
you
exactly right.
you think about what the mayor of New York City, feels so good to say that. Yeah, the way he talks and communicates, right? You think about the way, uh, whether or not you appreciated these leaders, Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, and when they spoke, they gave us something to buy into,
Yeah.
something we could be a part of. They inspire us. That's what we're all hungry for, right? We want
Right.
someone to step up and lead. So let's train those people. Let's make it as easy as possible for anyone who wants to do it in their community to do that.
I mean, I think you nailed it, Kelly. I mean, I get angry thinking about this, that this man's been around now 15 years in the political spectrum. I target 2011 as when he started with the creeping Sharia movement and the birtherism and the Obama's a Muslim thing. I mean, he demonized immigrants and Muslims and brown people to
Yep.
catapult his campaign. And we've had Clinton, we've had Biden, we've had Harris, we've had all these folks come through. How is it that 15 years later, we still don't have a message, a brand of what the Democratic Party is for? And
Are
like,
you are you trying to suggest that the Democratic Party has some sort of structure?
I that's my point, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is
Look,
extraordinarily frustrating
yes.
to see that they're like, "What are you running on? What's your actual message?" It just
Yeah.
I look at Hakeem Jeffries on Threads, and it's Trump thinks that the country's doing well. He's wrong. Get lost. I'm like, "What the hell is that? Give me something to run towards as opposed that just doesn't mention Trump." And I'm the first one to call him I've been calling him a fascist before it was cool to call him a fascist because I saw the writing on the wall, right? When he
Yep.
announced in December of 2015 a Muslim ban, I'm like, "Oh, it's fascism. It's clear." And people were like,
Yeah.
"Ha ha ha, it's just a joke." And
No. When you're running for president, nothing is a joke. That's what people
thank
don't
you.
seem to understand. You can't post on your own social account a video depicting Michelle and Barack Obama as apes and
Thank
then
you.
blame it on an intern.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
if it's true and it's not,
yeah.
you're president of the United States. When does the
Right.
buck stop with you?
That's right. That's right. And I mean, and I think that's really where we know that he's there for one reason alone, and that's just to stay in power. And I'm not
Yeah,
fully convinced we're going to have a 2026 midterm election without ICE trying to, and this is again just to give a very classic example and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this of how we push back with the Democratic Party on this. Just see where I'm going. He's told us he wants to nationalize elections.
yep.
We know he's got his unlimited budget for ICE. And we know that ICE is killing people with impunity. They're ignoring judicial warrants. They are violating due process of law. And we also know that for the first time, more Americans want to abolish ICE than fund ICE. So it's a popular idea as well. Despite that, Chuck Schumer is going to Trump with this proposal that ICE should be held accountable to the same standards as police departments are nationwide, ignoring that police departments are killing 1,500 to 2,000 people a year
Right.
as
Right.
well. How do we get folks excited about the party when party leadership is just basically running as Republican light?
Man, you're asking the easy questions
Yeah.
today, aren't you?
I mean, I just
Look,
feel like this is a conversation.
let's
This is what I get in my DMs and in my
yeah.
email
No,
inboxes,
and they're
right?
fair questions.
Yeah.
They're ones that we're all asking. They're totally fair. Let's level set what we can actually accomplish, right? We are in the minority in the Senate. We are in the minority in the House, and we're only in the minority of the House because they drew the lines
Yeah.
unfairly, illegally in multiple states.
Yeah.
Be 100% clear about that. I also think we as Democrats are way harder on ourselves than Republicans are
Oh,
on
sure.
themselves,
They
right?
absolutely right.
So, what Schumer, what Jeffries can do is severely limited. I am at times disappointed as well with the leadership and the vision and what's the grand plan, who's stepping forward to lead me. And this is honestly part of the challenge with our party. We are a candidate centric party. And what that
Mhm.
means, what I mean by that, is that whoever is president or the nominee at the time is in charge of the party and sets the tone. But even then, you can't make every congressional member say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Party message discipline is very tough
Yeah.
for Democrats for all the reasons we've talked about. We're a big tent party. We like to have ideas. We like to have thoughtful discussions. I would argue that most of us are way closer on issues than we think that we are
Yeah.
in the big tent. There are differences, but how much free healthcare do we want to give to people is a good conversation to have as opposed to should we give healthcare to people?
Yeah.
Uh, all of that said, the way out of this is by non-relenting, coming over the top on them, every district, every state, every community. I don't care where you live, how many Republicans there are. You show up, you show out, you are loud, you recruit other people, and we take back the power that is rightfully ours.
That's right.
We do that in a constitutional, fair, legal, but pull no punches kind of way.
I I I hear you and I agree with everything you're saying. I'll simply add that the rule book is out the window.
Yeah.
And this was one of my big frustrations with Merrick Garland, where even as he left office, he emphasized the need for norms and stick to norms, and people are going to push you out of the norms, but stick to norms. It was those norms that prevented him from prosecuting Donald Trump. With Jack Smith not testifying, he can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he orchestrated
Yep.
this insurrection. It was those norms that refused to let the Senate abolish the Jim Crow filibuster and pass voting rights legislation that would have banned gerrymandering in the first place. It was those norms that prevented abolishing the filibuster to confirm a liberal to the Supreme Court. And so I think this is where the younger generation, especially, and not just the younger generation, I think older Democrats as well, are frustrated that why are we playing by these norms
Yes.
when the other side clearly isn't? Why are we putting arbitrarily putting tying our hands behind our back? And one example of Democrats doing it right, I've been bashing them the whole time. One example of them doing it right is this gerrymandering battle, right? Once
Yeah.
Texas decided that they're going to undermine norms, California said, all right, sure, we're going to do the same thing. And Virginia said, sure, we're going to do the same thing.
Yep.
and like, look at how much that's firing up the party, the base. It's like,
Yes.
"Okay, good, we
Yes.
actually have people fighting." So let's talk about that on the local level. What's your advice to folks who have this anger and this rage and wanna channel it? How do you get involved on a local level in a meaningful, consequential way?
Absolutely. So there are multiple ways. One, you can find your local party. Two, if you
Yeah,
don't like your local party or the local party isn't organized and you don't want to organize it yourself, find a candidate or someone you believe in.
yeah,
Volunteer. Call them, email them. They are desperate for help. I'll tell you right now, every campaign can use more volunteers.
yeah,
There are very few campaigns like, no, 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 we're good right now, right?
yeah,
Three, if there's not a candidate that you believe in, find an organization. Is there an indivisible in your area? Are there groups that you believe in who are doing work? If you can't find those groups, can you start a group? Can you call Indivisible, say, I want to start one in my area? Come to our site. We'll show you how to volunteer. We'll show you how to run for office. Find someone who you think should run for office and tell them. Recruit them. We need to hear from other people that many times that we should run for office, right? But especially Democrats.
yeah,
We're often way too humble. Again, we have this need to defend the system. I'm gonna go back a little bit to what you were saying is
yeah,
for some reason we have a need to defend the system, but the system is broken. The system is failing.
yeah.
We don't
Well
need
said.
to defend the system. The system is MAGA.
Yeah.
We need to rebuild a better system. And if and when we take back power, we cannot be shy at
Yes.
the local, state, or national level. And I mean, look, I'm a big believer the inequity, the unfairness of the Senate, the unfairness of the Electoral College based on the Senate. There are ways to mitigate that. You
Yeah,
can increase the size of the House of Representatives. It's 2026. We have technology. There's no reason why we should be capped at 435 members since the 60s,
yep,
right?
that's right.
Puerto Rico and DC can be made states.
Yep,
You can't unmake a state,
yep,
right? Like these people deserve representation. It is the right thing to do, and it makes the system more fair. There's a whole host of things that we can do, but those don't have to be what we're running on. Because to win, we need the voters. If you're listening to this, you're already with us,
yeah,
right? We've got you.
right,
Thank you. Now we need to
right.
go get other people. And so we need to talk to them about what matters in their life. Affordability, healthcare, right? All of these things that matter directly to their pocketbooks,
Yep,
to their future. They're waking up worried about their kids, worried about their mortgage, worried about the rent if they're
yeah.
lucky to have a mortgage, right? All of these things.
I co-sign all of that, and I'll add that consistency is gonna be king here. All those things you just said, doing it as a one-off, going to one march, showing up to one meeting, and then disappearing is not gonna help. It's
Nope.
actually gonna feel even worse. It's like,
Yep.
I'm training for a marathon right now, and
Oh man.
the worst part is just getting started because your
Yeah.
body's like, "I don't wanna do this. What are you
Yep.
doing to me?" And every now and then what'll happen is you'll have a phenomenal workout, and the next day you'll feel sore as hell, and then you'll, like, let a week go by, and you kinda lose the gains, and then you have to
Yeah.
put yourself through that all
Don't do
over
that.
again. And that's what happens when you go the first time and then you don't go again, you actually end up hurting yourself more, and so the consistency is important, and the other thing, that you mentioned, Kelly, that I think is really important is that a lot of what you're mentioning doesn't actually cost money. It
Nothing
just
costs
costs
no.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
time investment, right? It's just a
Yes.
time investment, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, and tell me if this has been your experience. But you start showing up for just like 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and suddenly you're like the king of the castle. Like you're
Oh
the
my
guy
gosh,
everyone's
yes.
looking to. Like, oh, this guy knows what's going on. Let's just try. Like it's a very low bar. It is a very, very
It
low bar.
is. I
Yeah.
joke, I got my first job, in politics. I showed up as a volunteer.
Yeah.
I was kind of on time. I didn't smell that bad, like,
Win.
I didn't mess up too badly, so they're like, "Do
Yeah.
you want a job?" It's a
That's it.
low bar because we need the people.
Yeah, we need people, and showing up is not just half the battle. To me, that's 80% of the battle. What do you see like what's on your crystal ball for the midterms? Do we take the House? Do we take the Senate? Kind of where do
Yeah.
you see in our
Yeah.
future?
Look, I see, this is, I'm gonna go. I normally don't like to prognosticate because I don't bet on my teams with friends because then we lose. But I
Yeah,
feel good here right now. If the election were held today, and let's be clear, it is February 10th. The election is 9 months away. A whole lot can change,
yeah,
especially with this president.
yep.
We may own Greenland. Who knows? Uh,
Jeez.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. If the election were held today, we take back the United States House of Representatives easily. The Senate, I think, is 50-50, and the fact that it is even 50-50 is remarkable because of how badly Trump has played his hand,
Yeah,
lost control of the narrative, ICE. It's not good for them right now. Our challenge will be, can we keep this up through the midterms?
yeah,
And I'm optimistic about that, but again, having been in politics for so long, it's a political eternity. Like, it's gonna go up and down 3 times between now and then, and we need to stay focused. We're the ones who can fix the economy. We're the ones who can get you healthcare. We're the ones who will make certain the Epstein files are released and
fully.
held accountable.
Yep, yep. I mean, that's exactly right. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Kelly Dietrich, the founder CEO of Train Dems National NTDC National
Yeah, National Democratic Training Committee. All of our
NDDC.
handles are at Train Dems. Please, we'd love to have follows, love to have shares. We're in all the media, all the social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say that your team is posting links in the chat group for you
Yes.
all to get involved as well. And one of the things that I want my platform on Substack to be is to elevate, the people doing the work. You guys are doing the work, and so it's my
Yeah.
privilege to make sure that we're talking about this. And
Thank you.
I get emails constantly from folks saying, "How can I get involved? How can I do more?" This is it. This is your sign. This is literally your sign. Get involved with Train Dems. Um,
Come to us.
do you have any picks in these races? Like I've got my picks in Michigan and Maine and South Carolina. Do you and Florida? But do you have any picks?
Oh man, are you talking like Senate? Are you talking
Yeah,
like
Senate in the Senate. I mean, obviously, forget the Republicans got to get them out. But in these Senate primaries, who are your picks?
man, that is tough, and I have to be careful here because
That's right.
we don't take positions in primaries,
Yeah.
specifically because we help everyone,
Well, I'll
right?
give you I'll give you a better
That
question then.
lets us keep it
Yeah,
free. That's
yeah.
why we do that.
I'll give you a better question then. When you talk about getting 50-50, I
Yeah,
actually think that's the conservative number. I actually think we can take back the Senate because looking at what's happening right now, like Dr. Annie Andrews running in South Carolina against Lindsey Graham. I think she's got a great shot of winning that. I really
that
do.
would be amazing
Um,
if we could beat Graham would be amazing. I really like Mary Patola in
in
Alaska. That's
Alaska,
a
yeah.
fantastic
Definitely
race for
agree.
us.
I like Angie Nixon in Florida
Yep,
as well because I mean that's a seat that is that the seat that Marco Rubio vacated that is being.
I think it is.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so, like, I think the potential is definitely there, and this is where even if you're not in one of those states, you can be involved and you can play a meaningful role in volunteering and
Yep.
whatnot. We're down to our last couple of minutes. How can folks get involved with you? How can they reach out to you if they're
Yeah.
itching to run? And I'll ask you to also answer a question that I saw earlier on that I didn't get a chance to get to. Is do you guys coordinate with Run for Something and organizations like that as well?
Yes. All right. So I'll answer that question and then I'll answer how do you get involved with us?
Yeah,
Yes, we work with Run for Something. If you go through their program, you get endorsement. A lot of their training comes from us. They send you to our
amazing,
site, our materials. That allows their amazing coaches to work one-on-one with you and we give you the
fantastic.
fundamentals. They're a great organization. We are proudly collaborative, not competitive. We work with anyone and everyone in the democratic sphere, and that is intentional because we need to be building long-term power.
Yeah,
So if you're willing to do the work, we're willing to show you how.
love
You
that.
can come to traindems.org is our website. Everything is free. You can sign up. We can show you how to run for office. We can show you how to work on a campaign. We can show you how to organize your local party or just become a volunteer. Whatever you want to do, we can show you. If you have a need and we can't meet it, then you can email us. We will answer you and tell you where you can find it because we need to be helping anyone and everyone get involved wherever they are.
I love that answer. And that's such a great and positive and uplifting place to close this conversation. Kelly, you're doing the Lord's work. Thank you for leading by example. Traindems.org and at Train Dems across all social media platforms. Let's continue to have this conversation and definitely
Love it.
after primaries, let's get back and figure out how we can work together to make sure we flip the House and the Senate.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for having me very much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Take care, bud.